Welcome to the Tabletop Gaming Virtual Spring Showcase event. We're here with Mike Gnade, the big boss of Rockmanor Games, and we're about to play a little bit of Stardriven Saga.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. So I'm Mike Gnade, and I'm here to show you something we're working on. It's called Stardriven Saga. It's a spiritual successor to sort of our Maximum Apocalypse game and series of games. But as you'll see, if you're familiar with that game, a lot has been changed. So we're actually going to be playing through the first episode of the game. It's called Crash Landing. So I have a little bit of text to read you to sort of set the stage. You were in the midst of a major conflict. You had no choice but to make a blind jump. With the flash of the jump drive, you were all of a sudden here, transported, barreling towards a planet. With only minutes to react, our pilot reversed thrusters, but the damage from the battle and the extreme G's caused an explosion in the engine room. You managed to crash land, but not without some casualties. There are only 6 of us left. After patching ourselves up, it is evident that the ship damage is quite extensive. There's no way we're getting off this toxic rock without some repairs. Worse yet, most of our supplies were lost on our descent. We're going to need to put together an away team with the limited gear we have to investigate the planet and search for our lost cargo.
Beautiful. Okay, we're in trouble.
So that sets up sort of where we're starting here. And I can flip over. We're using this deck that has index numbers on the back is sort of what is how we're going to tell the story.
Okay, cool. Am I allowed to look at these?
You are.
Excellent.
So what I'm doing is I'm setting out sort of our first two objectives, which are sort of set up by the story, which is repair the ship. So if you come over here, you'll see that our ship, the back of our ship has been very damaged.
Yes, I can see that. Yes.
Yeah.
Whose bedroom was that?
Blown up. That was all of our bedrooms.
Yeah. Can we tell the difference? Is it that messy normally?
So our objectives are to get off this rock and to recover our lost cargo. So Stardriven is built to be 1 to 6 players. Are playing. So what we'll do is, you're red, so you'll take the red meeple, and you'll sort of we can put them actually here on this crash site tile.
Nice.
We'll be the away team, and these other crew meeples will just act as sort of generic actions that they can toil away on the ship like our red shirts. We can sort of tell them what to do every round, and they'll toil away.
Excellent. Okay.
But one of the things we need to do is Stardriven. The ship is made up of a diverse cast of characters. So there's actually a little bit of character creation at the start. So we have 6 different classes. We have navigation, captain, soldier, pilot, an engineer, and a doctor. And you'll pick not only a class or a role, you'll also pick which species you are. So these portraits are just examples, but you can pick any portrait, and you can change this to be like a bear, an Ursine navigator, or a gray alien navigator, however you want to do. And it'll actually change the dice and things that you get. And it'll actually change your deck of cards. So you have sort of a class deck of cards here, which is the navigator cards. And then, if you picked the gray alien, you would get this bioenergy. These 6 cards would be mixed in with your deck as well.
Excellent.
So there's some deck construction that sort of creates your character. I mean, it's pretty simple. You're just shuffling cards together, but I will let you pick whoever you like.
Okay, well, I'm not the captain. That's for sure. You're the captain, I'm sure. I'm definitely not navigation, because it'd be my fault that we ended up here.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to be. You don't need to blame at all.
Yeah. I think I would like to be the pilot.
Okay.
If that's okay. And I would like to stay as the alien here, if that's okay.
Sure. Sure. I'll be the engineer.
Okay.
So I can help repair all this damage we have.
Okay.
So what I'll do is we'll get rid of these other ones. We don't need them. And one of the things I should tell people if they're watching this is while you're going to have the option to, you pick the pilot and you're going to create this character. As you play the game, you're going to have the option to change characters in between episodes if you'd like. And you can create, if you're someone like me, you're not going to be super loyal to any one character. And you're going to create a lot of different characters and try different classes. And then there's some people who are going to want to really invest in one character and like level them up and upgrade them. So both options are going to be throughout the campaign of the game.
Yeah. Does that help? That obviously helps with if you're, for example, playing the campaign, but with a varying group of people, or sometimes people can't make it.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, it's drop in and drop out. Yeah. So
that's great. I noticed that's how dealing with our leftover characters. They just become extra actions. You could, I suppose, you could divvy them up between players if you wanted to, or you could just use it as a group action.
Yep. So what you can do is there's a crew phase where we command the meeples on our ship, and that's sort of like a everyone makes the decision together type thing. We'll discuss it as a team and figure out, because it is a fully cooperative game. Obviously, we're the crew of the ship. I gave you 5 dice. The dice sort of represent the type of actions you're good at, and they're located on your player board.
Cool.
Sorry, did I do that? Did I turn it?
I may be mucking about a little bit here. Here we go. It's probably my fault. There we go. I've forgotten how to roll dice as a group. Is it R to roll dice?
You highlight them all. You like drag and highlight them all, and you press R, and that should do it.
There we go.
There you go.
That's more like it.
And last but not least, these are all the equipment we have left to sort of put in our deck as well. So just like Maximum Apocalypse, there are 2 types of cards. There are this equipment card, which has a backpack in the upper left, and then there are like the instant action cards, which are all in our deck already, which don't have a symbol. So I'll take the helmet because it gives me some defense, and I'm a little bit weaker. I think we should each take a gun.
Yes, unless you're not planning to dual wield the guns then.
No, yeah. It's much easier to divvy stuff up when you're only playing 2 players. Yeah. When you've got 6 players and you're figuring out who gets what, that's a little more controversial.
Yeah. I mean, I really like that aspect of games that have this in them, though, where it's like, okay, so only 2 of us have got there's only 2 guns and there's 6 of us. How do we decide? I think that's always a really interesting question.
And as the game goes on, in future missions, basically you can invest in researching and developing new gear and building them and fabricating them in your ship. And those gear cards you can use between, when you're not playing the game, there will be deck construction rules to sort of take your, engineer here, my avian engineer here, and I can mix and match which gear cards I want to swap in. So there's some deck construction, outside of the game as well, if that's something that's interested of you. When you're sitting at home saying, how are we going to beat that next mission? It was really hard. I really need to change my deck up to be more effective.
Yeah, I think I talk about this a lot with people, but just the thing that any game that uses deck construction, the thing it does really well usually is it starts to live in your head a little bit while you're not playing the game. If there's anything where you can think, do you know what? If I just rearrange things ever so slightly, I'd be much better off facing down that boss or situation.
Okay, so we are ready to start now. Basically, cool. You're going to want to draw 4 cards to your hand.
Okay, so I hover and press
to be your starting hand. If you press 4, it'll give you 4. And then at the you know what? There's one more thing I need to do here. I'll actually bring these down. We have these turn order cards.
Oh, cool. Yes.
And right now there's a ton of them in there because it's as if we were playing with 6 people. But we don't have a captain. We don't have a soldier. We don't have a navigator. We don't need enemy ships. We don't have a doctor right now. And we're going to play with less threat because there's more threat cards in here based on if there's more players.
Cool.
So we'll just put those up there, give that to that person. Okay, and we should be good to go.
Cool.
So at the start of a round, we're going to deal out the turn order. So this is actually a really beneficial turn order to us. and we're going to roll our dice.
Okay. So, what's the reading of this turn order here? Does that?
So first threat is going to happen.
Oh, there's nothing here,
and
so we're
threat
okay.
Threat is going to affect everyone. You can see the sort of the arrows. It affects everyone to the left of threat.
Oh.
So we basically avoided threat this round.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, this is when enemies would move on the board. It basically activates all the upkeep stuff that you would need to do in a round. So we've avoided threat, and then it looks like my turn's first, which works out nicely since I've played before and you haven't.
Yes.
One of the other things I need to do is we're on a toxic...
Well-stacked cards there.
So. Yeah, we're on a toxic planet, so I need to build the board.
Oh, yes.
And it's going to be made up of these toxic tiles from the toxic biome. And when you move into these tiles, you just flip them over before you move into them.
Oh, I see. Good. Okay.
There's things there. You know, we're discovering and exploring this planet we've crashed on. We don't know what's there. We sort of have to discover it as we go.
Brilliant.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the thematic things. So going over your dice, you have one command dice, which is the red dice. You have two science dice, and you've got two green reflex dice.
Cool. Okay.
One of the important things to note is when you roll a 6, like you have over here.
Yeah.
That's very good. A 6 becomes a wild dice, so you can use it on any color. And it's like a black hole symbol. It's actually up here in our ship.
Oh, let me go have a look.
Yeah.
Oh, this symbol here. Yes. Okay, that's our wild symbol. Yeah.
So you can see, like, I'll use the ship as an example. It's sort of a good example. You can see that, like, when you're doing sciencey stuff, you need to use science dice. And the way you activate tiles and space in the game is you would need to spend a blue die that's worth 2 or more to activate this tile. And you need to be located there as well, obviously.
That's right. Okay.
So if you're in med bay or in the engine room or science lab, you need to be good at science. Reflex is sort of about scouting, so it's about comms and scanners, and movement, which is the gravity drive, which is how you move your ship around in space. And then command is about upgrading yourself, willing yourself to be stronger. So the FTL drive will take you to new star systems. Fabrication and crew quarters is how you upgrade your character with stickers and new cards.
Oh, stickers.
But we won't see that in the demo. It's just that's what it would be for. Command is also like how you attack potential fauna or threats on the planet that we may find. So on our board, you'll notice that you have there's basically 4 basic actions that you can take with your dice on your board. You can move, so you can spend any dice up to as many spots as you have to move your character one space adjacent. You can also draw more cards from your deck to your hand. You can play cards from your hand into play, and then you can activate the shuttle. So we actually have 2 people that are very, very good at the shuttle.
Okay. I mean, you are good at the shuttle. How do I know what I need for the shuttle?
Again, you can use any dice.
Okay.
So the dice are just a way to counter actions. So you basically have 5 actions a turn. Your basic actions can take any die of any value.
Cool. Okay.
And you can activate the shuttle 4 times because you're the pilot. You're really good at flying.
That makes sense.
You can do that a lot of it. So I'm actually going to activate the shuttle as well because it'll help us move around together. So if we look up here at the shuttle actually talks about what you can do on it. So the shuttle is you spend 2. So I brought the shuttle tile out of our ship. I wheeled it out the back because on the shuttle it tells us what it does. You can hold Alt and bring up the tile.
Look at that.
Your shuttle action, if you're on the shuttle, you can teleport back, move a player on the shuttle to the hangar, teleport them to the hangar, and spend 1 energy. Or you can autopilot and move the shuttle twice. And if we're on the tile, we can travel with it. So I mean, we're using the autopilot. Just means you can move it even if you're not aboard it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I'm going to use my first action to shuttle, and I can move twice. And what I'll do is I'll spend two of our energy up here on the ship.
So,
and I'll reveal this tile.
and energy is our like primary resource.
We have a few resources. So we have supplies. So over here on your board, you have this supply counter. We start with 3, and every turn now moving forward, at the end of each round, if we're on the planet, our supplies will decrease.
Okay, cool.
And if you're on, you'll notice that the mess hall on the ship says passive players aboard the ship do not need to consume a supply at the start of their turn, because our mess hall, keeps us well fed. So that's the way a lot of this game is about balancing your time on a planet and moving back and forth between the ship, jumping back and forth. So that's a way to sort of manage that. So
cool.
Oh, look, you got. So that was my first action. So I moved the shuttle, and I'm actually going to move it again to hopefully uncover a more interesting tile.
Okay.
So I'll move it to here.
Yep.
And another blank. There we go. So you can see here we've unveiled these cards with a red border. They're called sort of like trap cards. They're bad things on the planet that could hurt us.
Yep.
So the corrosive atmosphere during that threat phase will deal damage to people who are on it or adjacent to it. So it's sort of creating a zone of bad stuff for us.
Okay.
So it's good we've avoided that. I'm going to spend my next dice to move.
Yep.
Move here.
Oh, lost cargo. That sounds good.
Look, I found our lost cargo. Yeah. So this is one of our objectives.
Oh, that was easy.
And you can see, luckily we crashed right next to it. You can see that it tells you to draw number 3. That means like read the next card in the sort of campaign deck.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And archive just means that once we do it, and this will exit the deck, permanently out of the game for future visits to toxic planets.
Okay.
So what I will do is I can't quite meet these 2 specifications. So what I'll do is I'll spend 6 as a wild on the 7, and I'll spend the other 6 on as a wild on the wild. So we need 5 and 2 left, and we can complete that.
Okay. And you're out of dice, and that's your turn, right?
I mean, I'm out of turn. That's right. Yeah.
But luckily, you've teed me up perfectly to wander over.
Yep.
So the first thing I need to do is I need to move. You need a total of 5. Can I use multiple dice?
You can.
That's very good. Okay.
You can absolutely move multiple dice.
I'm just going to use 1 dice to move to begin with.
Yep, I think that makes sense.
And then you need 5 total. So I'm going to give you absolutely everything I've got here. Oh no, I've just thrown that dice. Whoops.
That was okay. I knew it was a 6.
Trust me.
You can actually keep it because we're going to give it back to you. So we'll use your 6 as the 5 I need remaining.
Okay. Oh.
And then if you give me that 2 red, that will complete the other thing.
Oh yes, okay, that's very good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all we need.
And then you still have 2 of your dice left that you can use.
These guys. Yeah. What am I?
We should lock this.
Yeah.
So before I do that, let's draw number 3 here on the index.
Okay.
And since we activated the tile, so it takes some time, but you eventually are able to haul back all of the supplies and cargo back to the hangar. Plus 24 supplies. Place your character in the hangar.
Plus 24 supplies. That's quite a lot, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So our supplies are up here. We've gone from 12 to 36.
So have you left me on the planet technically?
You've left me on the planet.
Oh, sorry. Whoops. I swooped in, stole what you found, and wandered back home.
Well, technically, you walked the supplies from here to here and hauled them back inside the ship.
That's true.
So we're not too far away apart from each other.
Okay. Cool.
And now's a good time to mention that you can spend a move action to move from anywhere inside the ship to the crash site. So that's sort of a jump to in and out.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Cool. Okay. So I've got these 2 dice left. I don't feel like I always feel like I don't need to do anything because we've had such a successful start.
we have had a good start. But one of the things we're going to need to repair our ship is we're going to need to collect scrap.
Okay.
Because we need sort of component pieces and scrap that we can find on the planet to actually spend our dice on here. You can see the tile says -1 scrap to repair this tile. And then you'll also need to activate it with the numbers up here. So each of these repairs is probably going to take 2 of our dice at least, and some scrap. So that should be our goal moving forward.
Okay, cool. And sorry, just to this might be a stupid question, but if I want to move to the comms room, is that 3 movements or is that 1 movement?
It is not, because our hyperlift is active, and you can see passive. Players may spend 1 movement action to move to any ship tile.
Cool. Okay.
So the hyperlift can speed you around the ship as long as it's not blown up.
Cool. So theoretically, I don't want to do this, but I could move to comms, and then I could lazily, having returned with all the goodies, say, Mike, I think you need to go. Can you just move a bit north? I think there's something good.
Absolutely, you could absolutely do that. The other thing you could do too is you can activate the shuttle as autopilot, and you could move the shuttle around to sort of scan the rest of the planet.
Oh.
And I set out these tiles arbitrarily.
Yeah.
A planet goes on forever, so
so we can
if you move off of this, we'll just deal tiles as you go.
Okay. But I'll actually do that then. I'll spend 1 move, and then I'll go to the. Do I want to come back out? That's the question, isn't it? No, I will. So I will spend the 1 to activate the shuttle.
Okay.
So we should definitely do that. Maybe we can go to the.
We're gonna move it.
Can we go? Yeah. Can we go west? Yeah.
Sure. So we'll go west twice.
Yeah.
So we'll end here, and we'll see these 2 tiles.
Yeah. Sorry, is that me using both dice there for this?
No, that was 1 dice. I mean, you could certainly do it again.
Is there anything good here?
I mean, we found some nutrient-rich algae.
That sounds like a beautiful vegan future that I'm not quite ready for on this planet. Let's move the shuttle again, and just because this is sort of I find this kind of entertaining. Let's move north too. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, ship fragments. Beautiful.
And a flock of jellyfish.
Yeah. So we should ignore the jellyfish, right?
We should, but they are fauna, and they will move towards the closest person and potentially float around, injuring them and stinging them. So they're sort of like an enemy. A dumb enemy.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them, so they have a lot of health. They're sort of a big dumb.
Yeah. So that
enemy.
The health is the top number there.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna have to do 20 damage to them total.
Yep.
Let's see how good my gun is. Hold on.
They only do 2 damage and 1 space, so we can also avoid them. They're going to slowly float around.
Yeah. And can they only move? Sorry, this might be a stupid question, but can they only move through tiles we've discovered at this point?
No, they'd be able to move in the grid.
Yeah.
What they will do is they will cover up tiles we've discovered, taking precedence over them.
It's now.
It is now our cruise. It's now our turn to command the crew aboard the ship.
So I'm zoomed in.
Away.
Lovely.
Yeah. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to use 1 crew on the comms.
Yeah.
To move me over here. Oops. I've fallen in a corrosive atmosphere.
I mean, that is oops, isn't it? So you've lost 1 supply for that.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. And then next turn when we turn the threat card.
Next turn when that threat card comes, I may have a chance to escape it. I mean, I could get myself out of it. We'll have to see.
I mean, can we do that right now? Can we spend another person?
You can spend another person to move me.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Let's get you out there.
Go north.
Oh, lovely.
Some ship fragments. Another thing we can do is on this corrosive atmosphere, you notice it has a number.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend this on the bridge to assign a 6 wild to that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn that to 6 science. And it will actually study the corrosive atmosphere and deactivate it. So what I like to do is flip it 180.
Cool. Okay. That's that's smart. Oh, I like this manipulation that we can do from afar, as it were.
Yep. So they'll study that. Yeah. And it's basically a blank space now. We've disabled the trap.
And we've got 1 one action left.
We could teleport you to the shuttle.
Oh, shall we do that? That's a great idea. As we've proven already, I'm very, very lazy. And so...
So we can teleport Red to the shuttle.
Perfect.
And now we're close to these ship fragments, which will get us the scrap, which should be able to complete things pretty decently now.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's the end of the turn.
Cool, okay.
Everyone who's on the planet, which is both of us, will reduce their supply by 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting very low. I'm going to need to go back to the ship.
Uh-huh.
And then all we do is we just shuffle up these turn order cards, and we'll see how things change next time.
Cool.
Oh, look, I'm still first, and I'm going to get some threat.
Cool.
And then the crew's going to go, and you're going to finish it out.
Mop it up, okay.
The other thing you need to do is don't forget to shuffle your dice.
Okay. Yeah, just roll.
I like to grab them. I like to grab them as a big thing, yeah.
Okay. I think they've been rolled.
I don't think so. I think those are your exact same rolls.
Oh, whoops.
I got you. Okay, so I'm up first.
There we go, that's better.
What do I want to do? I definitely want to work on these ship fragments.
Yeah.
So I'll spend a 6 on the ship fragments. Oh, look at this. This is horrible.
Well, I can come over and help. So I've got 6 here.
Okay. So I've taken 2 scrap from there.
So how did you?
I don't think.
How did you achieve taking that 2 scrap? You used.
I spent a 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the number up in the upper left is how many times we can activate this tile. There's obviously not infinite scraps there. So if you highlight over the tile, it says 4 left. We can do that 4 more times.
So how will we deal with that in real life?
There'll be tokens.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know, in real life, there'll be tokens. You like when you would reveal a tile, you put on tokens like a counter or something to reveal how many would be there.
Yeah.
I'm lazy, so I just use I've learned all these tabletop simulator shortcuts now that I use when I'm playtesting things to keep things moving as fast as possible. I'm going to move to my right because oh, look at me.
Wow, you're really just wandering into bad old places.
I do gain a supply at this old settlement though.
Oh yeah. And a healthy glow.
Yeah. Well, only if I hit threat. So I'm going to show you a trick that we can do.
Okay.
Which is I'm going to use the shuttle. Spend 2 energy and autopilot the shuttle over to me.
Yeah.
So I'll move it over 2.
Yep.
And what happens is if the shuttle can be used to cover up if you can't see a tile, it doesn't exist. So that irradiated settlement, with the shuttle there, we're safe inside of it.
Yeah.
So the effects of it don't matter.
Yeah. Oh, that's smart. I like this because it does really neatly model like the way you would want to try and solve these problems.
Yeah. So I'm going to spend my last action to play a utility belt.
Oh yeah. Let's have a look at the utility belt.
I do have tokens for that. There's like these energy charges that come on it. So those are my uses.
So you're
how many times are
you're going to assign some science to...
So what I can do is I can assign a dice to it, and it turns into reflex.
Oh, reflex. Sorry. Yes.
Which doesn't help me right now, but I just wanted to get it out, So I'd have something to do. Yeah. My last action is actually going to be to, since I'm running low on supplies, I'm going to use the shuttle and spend 1 energy to teleport back to the hangar.
Cool. Okay.
And then when I'm aboard the hangar, I'm going to take my supplies up and take from our global supply.
Cool. So you're back up. You're back up to 3?
I'm back on the ship. Yeah, I'm back up to 3.
Cool. Okay. Now we need to decide what's going to eat us.
So now threat is going to happen. So I will draw a threat card.
Oh, here we go.
Which is face down. You'll see it has a planet on the back. Yeah. So there's planet and space threats.
Yep.
When I start my turn on the planet, I will flip that card over, and something bad will happen to me. But again, you can play with avoiding threat.
Oh, you keep it in your personal area.
Yeah.
So it's not...
So this is like something coming. It's like I've screwed up and something's going to happen to me, but I can plan for it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Um,
Uh, and then all these trap tiles would trigger, but this one doesn't hit anybody.
yep.
This one we've deactivated, and the jellyfish will move towards you.
Cool. Okay.
So I'll go that way.
Cool. And now we need to
And
decide
now,
what the crew does.
yeah, what we can do is we can each take 2 crew.
Yeah.
I'll use 2 crew on the bridge, and I'm going to these ship fragments. I'm going to activate twice, so there's only 2 left.
Yep.
And that'll put 4 scrap on there.
Because we still need to collect it.
Yep.
Okay.
So the thing, the only free action in this game is basically handling resources. So as long as you're on the tile, you can freely trade resources between you and another player or on your board. You just have to spend the movement to get there to be at the same location, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you and I are both standing there, we can freely exchange things.
Okay. Well, do we want to teleport you back to the shuttle?
You could. I mean, I'm open to it.
Or am I immediately making things more dangerous?
No, it's fine. Let's do it. I want to see it. I mean, we gotta. The one thing I do want to do while I'm here, though, on the ship, is the scrap I'm carrying.
Oh, that's good.
I'm going to deliver it. I'm going to deliver it to the ship.
Okay, so that's in the ship.
So we have a bag to count easily.
Yeah.
But in the game, you would just, you'd be able to put the tokens in the hangar.
Yeah.
Or on your board. But it's nice to have it counted up in those bags.
Yeah.
For Tabletop Simulator. So.
Cool.
So now you may teleport me. Now I can teleport back to the shuttle.
Excellent. Right.
And I was
getting
low energy.
So,
yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff to collect here. So the other thing we could do is we could use those comms to move you left, so we could move you there, and then as a since that's a free action, you could collect those things and take them on your board.
Let's do that. I like that. I'm so bad at carrying things in this game.
Yep. So the way your inventory will work, it'll sort of be like, I'm sure you've played video games before where you have this like grid system.
Oh, we'll be playing a little bit of inventory Tetris.
Yeah, okay. Like, I mean, it doesn't really take time, but you'll see that like if we had ore, there's some Tetris stuff. So so as long as you can fit stuff on there, you can carry it.
Yeah.
But stuff will fill up.
That's you're triggering ancient memories of Resident Evil.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It's exactly Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Game Resident Evil is 100% what that is.
Let's rotate the shotgun. Yes. Okay. So good. So I've collected those into my.
That's a free action, and now it's your turn, so you can start spending your dice.
Okay.
We've commanded all of our crew members aboard the ship.
So this Wild 6, I think I want to use on the ship fragment scrap. I can use that to clear up.
Yep.
Can't I? So let's pop this over here.
And I'll give you 2 more.
Thank you.
What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to give you.
Oh, nice.
A 5 because it actually takes up less room.
Yes.
In your inventory.
Smart. Oh, I like that. Cool. And now the question is, and we've only got 1 left on this ship fragment thing, haven't we?
Correct. Yeah, I'll change that.
So do I want to do that again? Can I do that again? I've got a 5.
You have a 5 red. You could finish it off.
Yeah, we might as well just strip mine it, I think.
If we do that, we could probably get that scrap back, and we could probably repair the ship and finish this up.
Yes. Okay.
Although.
Oh, go on.
So go for it.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying go for it.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Here's 2 more of that scrap back.
Great. And then if I move, I can just hop back in the shuttle, can't I?
Absolutely, yeah.
And if I want to get teleported back,
you would just activate the shuttle again. Spend any dice on a shuttle action to teleport yourself on.
Let's do that. I will drop. There we go. Activate the shuttle there. Lovely.
Yeah.
And that's it. And we've got all our stuff.
Yep. I'm going to put all this aboard the shuttle here in a second. I'm just counting it out. So we're going to have 8. There we go.
Cool.
So we have more than enough scrap. We need to start repairing the ship. I don't know if you can. I don't think you can quite repair anything.
Yeah, let's have a look.
I always suggest drawing a card could be very good.
Yeah, let's do that. I've not really used
well.
any cards just yet, so I feel like
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely setting myself up to use some cards. So.
Well, let's actually just have a little look at my cards. So I've got utility belt. I mean,
you could equip that, but
I've got an axe. I've got a hollow tablet. Assign to science. That's not very helpful for repairing, is it?
I mean, it could be because you could use it to make like a 6 and 8 on this, or something.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, maybe I'll play a card if that's
sure.
not too silly. Okay, so I'm going to play this guy down. Okay, and so just for me to read this, I've got three goes. Is it 3 actions of it?
3 uses, yeah.
And the X is the
any dice, yeah, cool. And you can spend any dice on it to activate, yeah.
Cool. Okay.
But it uses the value of the dice and makes it stronger.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's great. Cool.
The other thing I should mention too is that's in mid-range. So mid-range is the tile you're on and up to 1 tile away. So you actually use your hollow tablet to work on something like, if you were here, you could work on this.
Oh, cool. Okay.
You don't have to be there.
Yeah.
So it gives you some range.
Yeah.
So you don't have to move around as much, which is nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've yet again returned to the kitchen cupboards.
I know, it's okay.
Kitchen cupboards of the ship.
Yeah. You can re-roll your dice.
Oh yeah.
I will.
We'll need to grab these.
I'm gonna re-roll my dice, and then we'll see our order here. Oh, you're up first. Then the crew, then us, and then threat.
Okay, so this is maximum threat, right?
Maximum threat. It's gonna hit all of us.
Yeah. Oh, I got another 6. Beautiful. Right.
Yeah.
Deciding what to do now is the tricky part, though. I mean, the engine room. Could I fix that?
You could spend. You could. I mean, you certainly could with your hollow tablet. You could spend your 6 and your 1.
Mm-hmm.
That would be 8, and that'd be 11.
Yeah.
And you could fix the engine room from where you are. You're adjacent to it.
That's perfect.
So you don't even have to move.
Let's do that. Start off with.
All right.
6 and a 1. I can use a green one, I guess.
You could use any. Yeah, you could use any color you want.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. And then I will just.
Actually, you could use the 5, right? Because that'd be 7 and 3. Right? Because it's plus 2.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's not over. That's the best way to spend your dice.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. And then I suppose I should teleport back down to the ground level, back to the shuttle.
You could also just use you could also just fly the shuttle to look at what these tiles are.
Oh, can I?
Yeah. You can autopilot it.
Of course. So
you don't have to be there.
Yeah, this is the thing. I'm sort of being an individual here, aren't I? But actually, we're a team. Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm going to recklessly drive this shuttle that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So I've only popped
2 spaces.
2 spaces. I've only just put a 1 down so far. But
it doesn't matter. Yeah. Cool. I mean, you can fly it multiple times, but
so
right now you're moving at 2 spaces.
Let's go right.
You can fly by a lot of tiles potentially.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Let's take this on a trip to the right.
Okay. See this one? It's a blank.
Cool.
Let's do it again.
Okay. And then let's do another one like this. I'm going to save that 6 just in case something cool comes up.
Yep. Always good to save 6s. Yeah. And here we can go. I don't know. Let's go like this, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Acidic lake.
I must say the pH balance of this land isn't good, is it?
I mean, it is a toxic world. Yeah. It's definitely a hostile environment. That's why there's not a lot of living things in this particular biome.
Yeah.
So we'll have different biome planets, and you'll actually, as you play, you sort of learn. The toxic biome is more about these threats and less about living things. Whereas if you go to like a verdant world, there's a lot more creatures milling about. Okay.
Let's do our crew.
You still have a 6 left to spend.
Oh, I do, don't I? What should I do with that?
You could spend your 6. Oh no, you can't.
I mean, I could. We don't need to do anything in the engine room, do we?
No, I'm gonna come in. I mean, you could use your 6 to activate the engine room, which will give us 8 energy. It'll recharge. Now that our engine room's back on, our reactor's sort of working, and it'll start gaining energy back.
Let's do that.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
You spent your hollow tablet charges, so.
Cool. So I need to bin that now.
All right, that'll take us back up to 25.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay, I'm just going to pop my card over here out of the way.
Yep. It stays in play though. You don't have to. You can recharge it.
So can I?
It has the energy symbol. So if you wanted to take 3 energy from the ship when you're aboard the ship, you could reload it.
Brilliant. Okay, cool. Every time you tell me one of these little things, and it makes sense in my brain, I'm just like, okay, this is actually.
Well, I try to. Yeah, I hope everything makes thematic sense.
Well, it does.
I mean, that's.
It does.
I try to match the mechanics to. Your hollow tab isn't dead. You just need to plug in your USB port.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. Yeah, it's like, of course, I'm able to do that. Yeah. Perfect.
All right. So what should we have our meeples do here?
Okay. So.
I like to do this so we can keep track of what we've done with
them.
Let's put one on the bridge to deactivate, to study the acidic lake and come up with a formula against its acid so we can deactivate it.
Is it worth us doing anything about the jellyfish or the irradiated settlement?
The jellyfish are not going to... I think we're far enough away. They're going to move 1 space. I don't think we should worry about it.
It's just going to be on the run.
Personally. Yeah.
Cool.
We also don't have our soldier with us, so we're not going to be great at dealing damage.
That's true. Yes, we should.
In fact, I have no red dice, which are used to damage things.
Okay.
And I have no weapons equipped, so I'm completely defenseless. You have 1 red die that you could potentially use.
Yeah, I've got a pistol here, but I don't think it's going to do the job.
Yeah, you could equip the pistol. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. I think I want to get back down on the planet.
Okay. Let's move you back to the planet.
Yeah.
I'm going to teleport to the hangar because I'd like to be in the ship fixing things because I am the engineer. Now that the engine is back up and operational.
Yeah, that sounds good. And then we've got... it's hard to say, isn't it?
Let's move you. Let's use the comms. It's a blank.
Okay, yeah.
But we can move you there.
Cool. Now it's your turn.
Yeah, it's my turn. Okay.
And you've managed to dodge your threat card.
I have. Yep, that's why I wanted to teleport.
I'm desperate to know what's on the other side.
I'm going to play... I have this handy repair ship card.
Oh, that sounds good.
Which lets me repair a tolerant. I'm going to repair the FTL drive. I don't even spend scrap. It's just straight up anything in range I can repair.
Right. Okay. This is a thematic from your deck as the engineer.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Cool. I actually doubled up. I picked the engineer, and this species is particularly good at mechanics. So this avian bird species we have, it's like they used to be able to fly back in the day, and they've evolved beyond that. But they're always tinkering away, trying to, find new ways to fly, and that's sort of how they advance there.
I like that. The genetic memory of.
That's sort of their background. Is they've always been tinkering, trying to get that back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw a card, see if it helps me. I'll repair something else because I've got these 6s. So I'll move, and I'll move to the. We have less red dice, so I'm gonna move to fabrication, and I'll spend my 2 6s to fix that up.
Great. And that costs us a mere 1 scrap. Is that right?
Yep, a mere 1 scrap. So we are very close. We are 2 tiles away from being able to lift off here.
I must say, this is a very kind tutorial.
It should be. Everyone's learning. So we all are going to draw a threat card, though.
Oh, do I need one as well? I've got one down here. Okay, cool.
and the jellyfish will move.
Yeah.
Move them here, closer to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it. Oh no, you the irradiated settlement. You are organic, so you're going to suffer 3 damage.
Okay, cool.
So what I'll do is I'll do the same trick where we can just type over it. So now if you hover, it'll say 23 HP.
Oh, great. Okay. Cool. That's good. Rather than moving 23 tokens about, I think that's the better way to do it.
Yeah. Well, especially in Tabletop Simulator, there'll be like a dial or something in the final game.
Yeah.
But all right. So I think we should be able to beat it next round,
Yeah.
at least the tutorial. We can read some of the other events.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Cool.
Okay, and then I've got to roll my dice.
Oh yes, of course. Thank you. Okay, I've rolled very poorly.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to hop onto the ship.
Okay.
And then I'm going to the shuttle. Sorry, and then I'm going to move the shuttle too. I think. Shall I go? Shall I go east?
Sure.
Is that okay? I think we're probably.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, it's fun seeing these cards. You
Yeah.
know, I feel like all these
Look at that.
space games. A lot of these sci-fi games aren't about exploration. There's 4X games where you're doing like a bit of everything, but I really wanted a game where it was focusing more on like the discovery aspect of like discovering systems. So it's a lot about traveling around and flying over planets with the shuttle and looking at discovering new tiles. And you've flown over an alien artifact.
Yeah. Cool. How do I get that?
It's going to take a lot of your dice. It's going to take a 5, a 6, and a 4 of each color. It's going to take at least 3 dice.
Yeah. Okay.
And with your roll, I don't think it's possible.
It's not happening today.
What we could do is we could use our crew to work on that.
Oh yeah, we could.
We could assign them with the bridge.
Yeah.
And we could spend 3 of our crew to do that.
I mean, I think this is why I lose games quite often, because I immediately get distracted by whatever the.
I think this game was conceived on a drive to Gen Con. Like not the last Gen Con that we had in person, like the year before that. Yeah. So I mean, it's been percolating in there, and prototyping for a while now. Yeah. It's getting, with each iteration, it's getting really strong.
I must say, the number of designers who say to me they were driving back from somewhere and that's where the game idea came from, just reminds me how much we were missing these things.
Well, yeah, I mean, with us too, some of the other designers I work with live on the East Coast, and we drive out to Gen Con and Origins. So, we're on the East Coast. It's like a 10-hour drive. So you have a lot that,
Yeah, got a lot of time to invent.
A lot of time to talk
games.
About things and come up with ideas. And this actually came from a conversation with Set a Watch. Our game Set a Watch, the designer of that, Todd, lives around here. And he is a huge sci-fi show buff.
Yeah.
Like every sci-fi show, every sci-fi movie, like he just devours it. And he's seen the craziest random D-list stuff he's seen. So we were just talking about that, like all these crazy shows he knew about. We had a Star Trek versus Star Wars discussion, and how we both like The Expanse. And, then we just started coming up with ideas for what we wanted a game. And one of the things we're doing is I've made Stardriven Saga, but based on this world we're creating, Todd is actually working on a game set in the same universe that will be completely different. It's more about being a roguish ship. It's sort of like versus the Federation. Like you're going out and completing missions to try to curry a system's favor to see whether they vote or not to join like the equivalent of the Federation in the world. So at the end of the game, either they vote to be free or they vote to join the Federation, and based on which player you are, that's who would win.
Yeah.
So that game is not nearly as far as this, but it's a way we can invest in all this artwork and character creation and species creation and use the art to create a more robust world, and get a little more mileage.
Yeah, that's really smart. I like that a lot. And also I just like the implication that you'll be playing two different games, but just the implication that there's connection.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully people enjoy the game and the world we're creating, and they aren't complete bombs, but yeah, that's our plan.
I don't think that would be the case at all, because this is fabulous.
We're actually working on 3 games in this universe. Yeah. So there's mine, and then Sam Bailey, who did Lawyer Up with me, is working on one where you build a colony, and a bunch of different species come together and they're building a colony together. And then we have another one that Todd's building. And they're actually going to tie together thematically, story-wise. Our ship is the roguish ship in Todd's game that escapes during the end of that game when conflict arises. So
yeah,
we're lost in space now.
This is
okay. I think it's still your turn. I think you have 3 actions left.
Oh, do I?
We're getting distracted.
Sorry.
We're talking about things that don't.
Do I have 3 actions left? Okay, yeah. So.
Oh, one of the things we need to do is, did you start your turn on the planet? I believe you did.
Yes, I did. Let's flip this.
So you need to flip over your threat card, and you have been contaminated.
I'm always getting contaminated.
So if we hit threat, you're going to suffer 3 damage and drop a specimen. Your specimen is contaminated, but luckily you don't have one, so you don't have to worry about that part.
Okay, just the suffering damage. Okay, cool. Let's explore a little bit further. Let's move the shuttle
south.
South, yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's see all these tiles.
Yeah.
You're gonna ruin a spoiler alert for anyone who's interested in this game in 2 years, even though it could completely change.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I mean, I think, what else should I do? Should I play out something else? I'm going to draw a card.
I think drawing cards may give you a new option.
Yeah. That's one.
You have some good options for killing creatures if any of these jellyfish catch up.
Yeah. I've got bioenergy. So that's a bit of healing, right?
You need to have a specimen, though, which... you don't have.
I do not have a specimen.
We can go harvest some over in the algae. All the good stuff's over here on our map.
Okay. In that case, then, shall we? I've got a green 4 left. I've got a reaction 4 left. I think my best bet is to move the shuttle again, right? Or do I need to? Do I need to teleport back? Actually, my supplies are quite low.
I would propose moving the shuttle back into the ship, because I think we could potentially win on my turn.
Oh, okay. So,
well, I mean, we can try, right?
So if I put I need to put this last dice on the shuttle, and then
and what I'll do is we'll put it in the hangar.
Yeah.
Comes back to the crash site and
great.
And here, look, you also get to see what's under here.
Oh, excellent!
There you see
another
acidic lake.
Another beautiful acidic lake.
Okay, let's see what I can do here.
Okay.
My rolls are not stellar, but I think we can win on. We can win on our meeples turns. So let's see. I definitely want to draw a card. So I'm going to use my 1.
Yeah.
Draw a card. Perfect. Okay, let's find a big one. Okay, then I'm going to spend this 3 to move. And I'm going to move to the gravity drive. And then I'm going to play a card. This is 5. Because I actually drew right into what I was looking for, which is my machinist card.
Oh, let's have a look at
which is short range, repair a ship tile, or restore 4 health to a robotic character.
Cool.
Because obviously you can be... one of us could have been a robot. We didn't do that. Robots don't restore health. They get broken.
Yeah. I spotted the organic... Organics suffer 3 damage. I was thinking, see, I'm an alien, but I'm not organic. But I'm not a robot. So we've got the gravity drive. Cool.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play another card, play my Scrambler. It's going to discard all unrevealed threat cards. So
that's a good card.
we can look at them. There is a food bacteria.
I'm on my way. Where are we? Over here.
And a bandit.
Let's have a look at that bandit.
And those are placeholder anyway.
That's a nice looking bandit. That's a nice looking bandit.
Well, it's not our artwork. I found it online.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
that's not to dwell on it.
Well, who the artist is, well done.
Well, what I always do when I'm making a game is I find artwork and I place it in for the prototype because it always helps the artist and me evoke the theme that I'm going for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rockmanor games, we focus pretty heavily on thematic games. So
yeah, no, it helps absolutely. Yeah.
I spent my final action to draw a card,
cool.
And I lucked into my last repair ship card, but
perfect.
I'm out of actions now. So
okay, cool.
All right, so threat. We're going to have these guys move.
Yep.
Towards us, but that's not really going to matter.
Yeah.
Your contaminated is going to hit you for 3 damage.
Okay.
So you're down to 20. It's not going to matter because we're able to win, but I like to record it because I actually have a spreadsheet where I keep all the playtest data.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For the tutorial to make sure things are. And then on our crew's turn here, I think we should be able to finish things out. We can spend 2 of them on the quarters to repair that, and spend a scrap. And then that will conclude the demo. We can, what does it say? When you're fully repaired, you can draw 4.
Cool.
I think I typed this story in. After a Herculean repair effort, your ship is finally space-worthy again. With a howl of the engines, your ship rises off the rocky ground and turns to the stars. Draw 5, 6, and 7. Open the star chart booklet to System 1. Episode 0 complete.
Great.
So this is the point where you would open a booklet up with your map. It gives you some more objectives, so we can look at those. And you'll see Episode 1, the story arc is the first thing. So the story arc is lost. And then we have Episode 1, assess the situation.
Yep.
Orbit the destroyed homeworld, activate the captain's quarters on the derelict ship. So you sort of need to learn what's going on. And then First Contact, a scan of desert planet's surface shows signs of intelligent life. Perhaps some of the local people can help us update the star charts in our ship's computer.
Cool. And
so we can investigate the desert planet and talk with a local Legardo, who will give us a system so we can then activate our FTL drive and start flipping through the book.
Sorry, Mike, that's just dropped again. I apologize. This is.
So as you.
Sorry, that just dropped again. Could you just could you go from we can flip we can find a star system to point our FTL drive at and flip through the book?
Sure. Yeah. So as you work in the game, you'll unlock new star charts where you can activate your FTL drive to jump to new pages in the booklet and explore the solar system however you want.
Yeah.
It's really a sandbox game where you can you're going to have these missions in front of you, but you can tackle them in whatever order that you want.
Yeah.
And follow the story threads that are most interesting to you.
That's fabulous. Is that where this map at the top here comes in?
Yeah. So this is a very rough prototype version of the first map. Where you'll face pirate ships. You'll have these minis moving towards you. We're the X-wing in this example.
Yes, of course.
But you can move around. There's obviously some combat in space as well.
Yeah.
The other thing that happens at the end of this episode is now that our fabricator is back online, we have this tech deck, and
cool.
We have new technologies we can investigate. And these are those cards you would acquire to your player decks. They're actually acquired for all players. And then in between play sessions, you can, pick which cards you want to be in your deck.
That's great. So laser blades.
Yeah.
And
so one of the things, one of the things you can do in this game is, obviously we've played episode 1. The game's designed where a play session is about an hour to 2 hours based on how many players you have for each episode. But you can obviously continue. You can sit and play for as long as you like.
Yeah.
So, we could just clear off this. Well, I don't need that. But we could clear off this toxic biome, and maybe we go and visit the derelict ship next. And we start exploring the derelict ship and docking with that.
This looks great.
Or maybe we go to the desert planet first and we work on that, and then we'd get the desert biome out here.
Yeah. I really like that because you've actually got a lot of different senses of scale as well in the locales you're exploring. I think I like that sense of variety because there's a lot of games that use a sort of flip the card as you explore mechanic in some way, right?
Right.
But they're usually all like you're traveling from one region to another or one town to another or something like that. And there's but this is a nice idea that we've spent all day outdoors actually on the acid planet. Let's hang around indoors on the derelict ship for a bit at least.
Right.
Yeah.
And the derelict ships, unlike those planets that you can just keep flipping cards as long as you have cards in your biome deck, the derelict ship will have cards like this where it shows you the layout of the ship and it's finite. Because obviously a ship doesn't go on forever. So
so that's really cool.
that's a preview of Stardriven. Hopefully people will sign up for a newsletter or follow along so they don't miss when it launches. But it's the game I'm most excited about in our portfolio right now.
Yeah,
that we're actively working on.
I'm very excited about it as well, especially now. So tell me, where's the best place for people to go right now and get alerted about this game when it's ready?
The absolute best way is to sign up for our newsletter. We don't send them very often. We send them like maybe quarterly. But if you sign up for our newsletter, we basically use that to announce new Kickstarters, and we also have in all of our newsletters we have a little graphic that we put that shows all of our fans our progress on games we've announced. So there's a little meter that will fill up as we're working on this game. So you can follow along with the progress. But I also post stuff that I'm working on Instagram and stuff. So if you want to follow us on some social media, we'll post about things that we're working on here and there.
Yeah, that's great.
When like a new piece of art comes in, sometimes I'll snap a photo of it and post it on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, that's great. And we were talking off camera a little while ago, but we're thinking maybe a Kickstarter next year.
I think a Kickstarter next year is definitely in the cards.
Yeah.
When next year, I'm not sure. But I think it'll definitely happen in 2022. I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it'll be early in the year or late in the year. It sort of depends on how things are going, and how much playtesting we can get in. If you're interested in playtesting Stardriven, I would say definitely reach out to us on Facebook or something, and we have a Facebook group, our Facebook page. You can reach out to us there. We'd love to give people access to this tabletop simulator prototype and kick the tires a little bit and give us feedback. So
that'd be great. That's great. And thank you for taking us through this, Mike. This has been fabulous.
You're welcome. I hope everyone forgives the prototype. Some of the looks of it. It's looking prettier, but it's still, there's still some placeholder graphics and things like that, especially the player boards. So hopefully that didn't ruin things for people.
No, I'm sure it didn't, because the whole game is just my very recent experience of this is that this is a game that is all about potential in some ways, like the next card, the next threat, all those things. And it's one of the things that was always annoying about you being good at this game is that you got to dodge your threat cards. When I just want to see it burn. I want to know what's going on. So as I say, I'm really looking forward to this. And hopefully we'll speak soon again about this.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thanks for having me, and hopefully everyone enjoyed the look at it. Stay in touch. We do our best to engage with fans and people if they show interest, especially people who are willing to fill out playtest forms. A quick survey online. So
yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Mike.
You're welcome.